was taken to the hospital, at least on a steel table and getting euthanized. At least she was home. She was in her room. So, all that is fine, but nobody tells you how to, the void that they leave behind. How do you deal with that?
It's a big void.
It is a very big void. It'll fill up gradually, I'm sure. We keep our mind flooded with her memories. But, it's funny, Sanjana. Everybody experiences grief. If they haven't experienced it, they will. It is such a universal experience we all go through. But when you go through it yourself, you feel all alone. You feel like nobody understands. Oh, my grief is bigger than anybody else. Nobody will understand us. Right? But so it really helps to talk to people. Really helps. Take all the phone calls you get. Talk about your loss and what you're feeling. That helps. But when you're by yourself, gosh,
it's
all those memories come flooding back.
Nice to see you.
Thank you. Same here.
So I know we talked 2 weeks ago when you lost Pixie, and it's very sad. I've also lost a pet 5 years ago.
Right.
It's still very painful. Can you talk about how your journey was with Pixie and how everything happened?
Yeah, sure. So Pixie was a Maltese. She was almost 14. She has been with us ever since she was 8 weeks, 10 weeks old. When they're allowed to take a puppy home, has always been with us. We've traveled with her. We in fact took her to one of her assignments for 2 years to India. She did that. Took that rather well. She was just the love of our lives. She was our third child. It was very, very difficult to let her go, for sure. Just before, so had been problem-free most of her life. Had a nice, healthy life, no big issues. But I think a week after lockdown in 2018, we had come back from India. 2020. And she was getting used to being at home again. I think she had forgotten that they were, so we live by the golf course, and the golf carts would come, right, all the time, and she was used to it. But I guess when we had left and come back 2.5 years later, she was excited to see them again. So, and we were all home, and she was on the ottoman in the family room. She saw a golf cart, and then I don't know what happened. She just bolted. The way she landed on the carpet, she put her leg was under her weight, and she broke her hind leg. In fact, fractured it, broke it. So that was the second week of the lockdown. And all the places were closed. It was very difficult. Of course, we had to rush her to the emergency, and that's where she was diagnosed with a heart murmur.
Just because you took her?
Yeah, because we took her.
Because of an injury?
So the injury was to her leg, but we didn't know that she had a heart issue all along. So they called me in and said, do you know she has a heart murmur? I said, no visible signs. Anyway, so that was the time she was diagnosed, which was in 2020. And this is 2022. And of course, she had her surgery and everything for the leg and recovered in about 8 weeks. We took her to Warm Springs Pet Hospital. They did. They were allowed to do surgeries, emergency surgeries. But if you remember,
2020
March. March 2020 में हुआ था ना lockdown. So remember they were diverting the resources from veterinary hospitals to humans because of PPE वगैरह shortage वगैरह हो गई थी ना. But luckily we found this place that could operate and take care of her. So anyway, so that was when she was diagnosed, and then they put her on all kinds of pimobendinic heart medication होती है. So they put her on that, and they told her that she will live out her rest of. She was 12 at that time. but she will live out normally. But when she goes, it probably will be age, of course, and then her condition will gradually get worse.
So what causes heart murmur? It's just
हो
like
जाता है बस.
just like a
It is
getting
just, it
old,
happens.
older.
Like, why do people have cardiac arrest?
Something like
You know,
that.
why do people have heart attacks?
Mm.
So there's a valve, mitral valve बोलते हैं उसको. So उसमें leakage हो जाती है.
Okay.
It doesn't close properly, so there's blood that is leaking out.
Okay.
And the as much as I understand, because of this condition, the heart gradually enlarges. One of the chamber enlarges,
Okay.
and then it starts pressing against the trachea, the windpipe.
Okay.
So breathing issues होती हैं.
Okay.
So we were told to monitor her heart rate, which we just always did. It became second nature to us. जहाँ पे, you know, when they were resting, completely resting, deep sleep,
Deep sleep.
उसमें monitor करनी होती है breath, and we did all that. So in one way, we were lucky that we still had 2.5 years. क्योंकि March 2020 में diagnosed हुआ था. So our sixth sense was always up. कि breathing ठीक कर रही है, ये हो रहा है, वो हो रहा है. And then a year after she was diagnosed, and she was put on another medication. उसके साथ भी
same place you used to go to mom's.
नहीं, then the regular vet, because we had to take her X-rays and her scans वगैरह ना, CT scans वगैरह वो होते थे, echo, and this and that. So we could see that the heart is getting enlarged, but then, you know, with medications we were controlling it as much as we could, and then gradually that's what happened. And then she was also given a corticosteroid, वो जो puff होते हैं ना, humans also take that, right?
Okay.
For as asthmatic patients take it.
Okay.
So the last thing
To
is
help with breathing.
yeah. So there's you just get that chamber. It's called aerodog. उसके आगे ना funnel होती है, and then there is a, just like humans, there's a pump पीछे, and then उसके साथ उसको with help her with the breathing, and she would,
Oxygen or something.
yeah.
Okay.
So वो भी दिया. So just the day before she passed, on the 2nd, she had a grooming. आराम से आई है वहाँ से. She was perfectly fine. And I asked the groomer also how she was doing, because, you know, सारा दिन she was with her. And she said, no, she's fine. I'll see you in 5 weeks. घर आके she had a proper meal. कुछ नहीं हुआ. But in the middle of the night, she was very uncomfortable. Around 3:30, she woke me up. So I gave her that puff again, you know, the steroid puff.
She came and sat next to you.
She used to sleep by my bed. All through her life, she was always
So she
by
came
my
and
side.
kind of.
She made noises. Yeah, she used to cough, very constricted cough when she would get her difficulty breathing. So मैंने उसको puff भी दिया, and then she took it well. But that's how the rest of the night passed. And I guess her enlarged heart was pressing on her trachea a bit more, like it was progressing, right?
Yeah.
So she was having difficulty breathing. So of course we held her. She didn't want to be held.
Because of breathing problem.
So सुबह 8 बजे I called the emergency vet, and they said, you know, so and so doctor will be here at so and so time. So we were to take her later in the day, but around 12:30. So we were all sitting with her. Sanjana, you've had this experience, right? You get that premonition that something's gonna happen. I just went to the wanted to use the restroom, and I said I'll be right back. And within those few minutes, Sandeep got up to work on the computer or answer a phone call or whatever. She found her way to my room, which is quite a distance, quite a few yards from the family room to my room. And I came out of the my room, my master bathroom. She was lying on her side, just waiting to say goodbye. And then that was 12:30, and by 12:45, she left us. She left us.
Yeah, similar thing happened to us. You know? Yeah, but at least she died in the comfort of her home.
Yes, I was rubbing her belly. I hope she realized that, and we kept calling out her name. And I did FaceTime with my sister, who's a physician, and she was telling us what to do. But obviously, you know, just that keep rubbing, keep
Comforting.
keep her comfortable, cradle her head, see if she's still breathing. And no, it was labored breathing, and towards the end, even before we could take her anywhere.
Yeah.
She left us.
Yeah. But that's what her sometimes I feel like even with my dog as well, like, you know, they love we call, even for our present dog, we call this is their universe.
Yes.
Because they want to be in just here, there's
Yes.
nowhere else.
Yes.
So that way, you know, if they are their end is in their comfort of their home or the universe, I think that's the best.
Yeah, that is so
Right?
true.
Because in a hospital environment,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, so talking to other people who've experienced loss like this, that's what they said. So their pet, was taken to the hospital, at least on a steel table,
Yeah.
getting euthanized. At least she
Yes.
was home.
She
was in her room.
Mm-hmm.
So all that is fine, but nobody tells you how to the void that they leave behind. How do you deal with that?
It's a big void.
It is a very big void.
Very
It'll fill up gradually, I'm sure. We keep our mind flooded with her memories, but it's funny, Sanjana. Everybody experiences grief. If they haven't experienced it, they will. It is such a universal experience we all go through. But when you go through it yourself, you feel all alone. You feel like nobody understands. Oh, my grief is bigger than anybody else. Nobody will understand.
Nobody will understand.
Right?
Yeah.
But so it really helps to talk to people. Really helps. Take all the phone calls you get. Talk about your loss and what you're feeling. That helps. But when you're by yourself, gosh,
it's
all those
very
memories
painful.
come flooding back.
That's hard because our lives, like in generally are longer than our pets, So they're
you
naturally,
outlive
So what's it? One dog here is 7 human years, right? So that's what they say average. So it's very hard because in our lifetime, if we live up to let's say 80, or we probably will see so many of, because we are pet lovers, right? So I find this is very painful.
It is very good.
It's like in a lifetime, they're just our life.
Absolutely.
Just around us all the time.
And somebody sent me a very sweet note. They said she had read it somewhere that dogs are probably the only animals or only beings who love their family or their owners more than they love themselves. So because that's for them, like you said, this is their world. This is their whole world.
This is the whole world.
And the unconditional love that you experience, or they teach you what selfless love is.
Yes. Yeah.
अभी तो बहुत, there's a big hole. And my husband and I, we just see her everywhere. Like she's sitting on the couch, she has to go out. Does her bowl have water? Is she fed? What does she want?
And all the toys
Where
that
did
are
she
lying
go?
around.
Where is Pixie if she's not around? Right? So
it's
you open the garage door when you come home. She would be standing right there waiting. बच्चों को तो बुलाना पड़ता है.
I know, they just are everywhere.
Yeah.
Like just everywhere in the house. You do something, they're there.
They're there. Yeah. मतलब it's just
How did they
understood.
know?
हाँ, अगर नहीं है तो क्यों नहीं है? कहाँ है?
I know.
है ना? तो वो तो absence is gonna take time to fill.
Yes, it's gonna take a lot of time. And then, sometimes it's just, it just never gets filled. I still feel the pain, when Teddy passed away. It was very painful.
Yep.
Yeah. Very, very painful.
But I'm so glad we got that reference from you, Valley Pet Law Center, and a lot of people have taken that reference because it's just people didn't know.
Oh yeah.
You would usually go to your vet, but that is okay too if people want to do that. Everybody deals with it in their own way.
In their own
But
way.
I felt like just having a ceremonial send off was very nice. It was very satisfying.
Yeah. I know that's what because sometimes you say that they will do in a group, if you take them, and they'll do the rites, last rites, and they'll send you the ashes later on. So we didn't want that. Our thing was that we want to be there. So we were there when they took him, and I think that's the same thing with Pixie, right? We were there and we kissed him and we did everything that sent him by, and everybody, we had to do that too.
So she passed on Saturday afternoon, 12:45, and Mike, the owner, he came around 4:30. She was cold at that time.
Oh, yeah.
So, but we wrapped her up very nicely and let her go. And then, because it was long weekend, Labor Day weekend, so Tuesday morning was her send-off. was the cremation.
Yeah.
So we went there and very nicely done. We got her
Mm.
paw print, we got her nose,
Mm.
and print bhi liya, ink print, and also in clay.
Yeah.
And then of course, set her off with her favorite toys,
Yeah.
dad's socks. She would always have Sandeep take off his socks when he
Yeah.
came from work. So for her it was, that means he's not going anywhere.
Oh, okay, take the
So,
socks away.
yeah, and then treats from all of us. Arjun, of course, isn't here. He's off to college. Vikram, Sandeep, and I. So they gave us about half an hour with her. Uska made her comfortable. She was looking so pretty because she was freshly groomed.
That's true. I saw her picture. Freshly groomed. Yeah.
Yeah. So that helped, just being together with her, sending her, that definitely helped. And like Sandeep said, she lived like a queen. She let her go like a queen.
Yes, yeah.
So,
That's what,
yeah. And then he told her we are ready to let her go. I couldn't see the last part.
Yeah.
I couldn't. So,
I know. As you said, it takes a while for the pain, and I don't know, like, sometimes it just never goes away. It's just like losing a pet.
all there is memories, pictures. And talk about it as much as you can. Share your, I'm just thankful for the love.
Yes.
Very thankful.
A lot of love. Yeah. Unconditional.
Yeah.
And then they're so forgiving. The pets are like, especially, I've always had dogs. No other experience but dogs, but they're so forgiving.
Actually, if you mistreat them, they still love you the same.
Yeah.
If you give them
with them sometimes, like,
you take them for a walk, you don't take them for a walk, they're still the same. Unki, there's just no lessening of love and affection you get from them.
I always feel like we should learn from them.
Yes, lot of learning.
lot of
learning. What selfless love is.
Selfless love.
है ना? यही नहीं है कि मुझे treats दोगे तो मैं आपके पीछे आ रहा हूँ. They are going to be the same.
Yeah. And like having a pet, sitting with a pet, like sitting on a sofa.
Yeah.
It's so relaxing.
It's therapeutic. You're just never alone.
Yeah, you don't.
That's why they have therapy dogs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's so good for your mental health.
Yes.
I mean, study after study tells you.
Yeah. Yeah.
They just fill a void.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yes. You're having a bad day, you come back home, there's comfort.
Always, somebody
there
to cuddle with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are the boys coping with her loss?
Just a lot of talking. They will always say, "How are you guys doing?" And also just not afraid to express feelings.
Vikram was here.
Yes, Vikram was here. Yeah, he had actually gone to Austin, and so we called him when he was there. He had gone for a friend's birthday.
Okay.
So he was feeling terrible because there was no signs.
Yeah.
Absolutely no signs. He would have not gone.
Yeah.
Matlab, it was easy to cancel the trip.
She's not well.
She came from grooming.
Yeah.
Just the night before, a few hours before. So there was absolutely no sign.
Yeah.
So obviously he felt very bad, but very glad that he was here for the final send-off.
Yeah. He could come back.
He could come back, yeah. So long weekend thana, so that's where they were.
Yeah.
I mean, they'd gone, for a short trip. But so happy that he was part of it. So boys ke saath bhi, we just always talk about it. There's no hesitation of ki baat nahi karni hai.
Yeah.
They will look up their phones for pictures and this and that. So and then everybody, the rest of the extended family knew how important she was in our lives. I mean, we got calls from everybody. Sharing their memories of her, sharing their pictures with her. मतलब घर में जो लोग आते थे, pictures अगर ली उनके साथ तो any guest who would come home, especially from overseas visiting or whatever, and then pictures तो हम लोग लेते हैं ना. She was always there. She was always there. अगर नहीं थी तो she would find her way.
Yeah.
So many people would call and say, "Oh, we remember this of her, remember that of her." So.
Yeah, we also sometimes having a pet, especially, you can travel as much. You cannot plan just trips just like that. So, but it still doesn't matter because the fun of keeping
it.
Pet
yes,
it
compensates
for all
anything else.
Anything else.
Yeah, for the restrictions. And
Yeah.
you know, having a pet is a commitment. It's a life.
Yeah.
अगर responsibility लिया तो you know you deal
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah.
Deal with it. Yeah, no question about that.
Yeah. And obviously, because their lives are shorter than us, this will happen,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But we just need to, keep on giving love, I guess. I think that's, I felt that helped.
Yes.
Because for me, it wasn't working.
Mm.
Like, we had to get another one in 4 months or so, and then it helped me. But everybody has a different
Right.
way of coping, like I was like, no, we have to, so that we can kind of, remember him and also take care of little new baby, to kind of give more love.
Yes. Yeah.
So that was my way of dealing with
Coping
it.
with it. Yes. Yeah.
But I guess everybody has
Right. Yeah.
different way of coping, and we just know what is going to work for me or
Right,
not,
right,
right?
yeah. Yeah, no, I think there's always going to be a dog in the family.
Yeah.
But it's, just been 2 weeks.
There are restrictions, but I guess that it's still worth it, right? Yeah.
So when my son left for college, the younger one, and Vikram is local, so of course he comes and goes. But the younger one, he's on the other coast. So he couldn't, he always felt the absence of a pet. So he got a cat. Because I guess for singles, it's easy.
Easy
as
cat,
a student,
less work,
cat
yeah.
is easy than a dog. It's less responsibility. So he couldn't live without a pet.
See, that's the thing.
So so that was his way of coping with her absence. Absence of a pet, I guess.
Absence of, because he's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think cats are more independent. Right?
Yes.
Dogs are like.
Yeah. But at least there's somebody in the house, it's less loneliness. He lives by himself. He doesn't have roommates. It's whatever he's doing, it's hard. So you can't have roommates. It needs to be on his own. But this was a good way of dealing with loneliness.
So what is that thing, like if you were to remember like some things that happened with Pixie, like something she did, anything that just comes to your mind, like, oh, that was very cute or something?
While she was, the morning of when she was not feeling well, she wouldn't let us hold her because I think her trachea was constricting.
Okay.
And I tried to put cushions under her neck, to support it. Thak gayi hogi. And tried everything to make her comfortable. No, but she was walking around. She went to every room. Vikram's room is upstairs. She went to the base of the steps. Then she found her way to Arjun's room, then to my mother-in-law's room, and then finally to my room. It was like she's saying goodbye. But she wants to be in familiar places, was looking for people because
So that morning.
Vikram was that morning. Yeah.
Okay.
That was crazy.
And she could climb the stairs.
No, she went at the base of the stairs and looking up.
Okay.
Because you know what, it was so if Sandeep was home, that's my husband, right? So that is the first priority, that she has to be with him. If he isn't home, then it's me.
Okay.
Then it's the boys.
Okay.
But maybe if whoever is at home, she would find her way there. So she had sort of had a hierarchy. So
Yeah.
And then of course hiding socks. Every time Sandeep would come home from anywhere, because Sandeep was her world. I mean, she wouldn't let if we are watching TV, I couldn't sit next to him. She had to be between us. Itna possessive thi na about Sandeep, yeah.
She was like their daughter.
Yes.
She was like his daughter.
So when people would come home, shake hands, she was like, what? No, you're not allowed to come near him. So एक तो TV पे there was always, she was in the middle of us. And then अगर बैठते बैठते खिसक भी गए, कुछ देख रहे हो तो then she would let me know. No.
No.
And then when Sandeep used to travel a lot, right? Like 2-3 times, Monday ko gaye, Thursday ko aa gaye, whatever. And then there was always a suitcase, right? Where he would come with a suitcase and he would leave with a suitcase. And she had started having a phobia of suitcases.
Could you see that?
When he would start packing a suitcase, she knew it was time to go. First of all, she would go hide. And then when the suitcase would come back, she would bark. bark at the suitcase, like she hated it. So that's what we got in her, in the, her remembrance that we got back. Her box urn, वापस उसमें मैंने यही लिखा, right? That I loved chicken. Loved chicken but hated suitcases. So yeah. Even now, when he stopped traveling and we would go on trips, we would pack suitcases when she would not be around, and put the suitcases in the car for the airport when she was not around. If she was, one of us would be distracting her, and then the rest of us would put suitcases in the van because she would get upset. She would start peeing. She would get diarrhea, nervousness ke saath that somebody is leaving.
Oh my God.
So, that was strange.
Yeah, but she's gonna always remain in your hearts.
Yes. And
she
would not drink water, Sanjana, but water in her bowl. No, you had to empty it and give her fresh water every time. Fridge wala pani. Every time. And she carried that with her to India. Or India, there wasn't a water dispenser. But what did she know, right? She knew that this is where you get water. So every time you had to empty it. I think that was her way of garnering attention. Right? I don't think it would matter to her.
You would know, like she says.
No, she would sit by the fridge and squeal. all her life. पानी भरा हुआ पानी रख दो आप बोल में. नहीं वो खाली करो and give her fresh पानी. And then she would drink it. And sometimes, you'd be in the middle of a show, in the middle of a movie, and in the middle of a phone call, but she would be sitting there and squealing and trying to get your attention.
Yeah, something I've
And then if you had to get her back from anywhere, you're seeing people off and you don't want her to run to the street or come back, or if you can't find her and if you just say chicken, you would find her from anywhere. So
see, that's the thing, she's given you guys so much love. She's gotten so much love from you guys, and I think she'll always remain in your heart. And if it helps you, I would just say that just think she's without pain. She has no breathing problems.
Right.
She can, and she will. There's I always feel there's a connection with the soul, and in some way we'll meet again.
Right.
Somehow I have it this feeling.
Just way you project your memories. Obviously she's not everywhere. She's not there. But you project your memories on where she used to be, what she used to do. Right? नजर आती है ना सारी जगह के, ये करती होगी, वो करती होगी, गराज खुला है, सामने खड़ी है, and then we won't let the car, Sandeep's car, come and say wait, let me pick Pixie up. वो memories ही project हो रही है ना सारी जगह. So just learning to live with her and without her, both right now. But
it's gonna take time. That's the only way. And it's good that we talked, and it's good that you're talking to family about it, and at least I also felt the place that we did the last Rise Valley care. They did a great job, and that really helped.
Yes, and they don't
the
rush you.
ending. The ending, like we gave him, like you gave Pixie. This was really helpful. Like that it wasn't like he went with grace, lot of grace, and respect,
right?
That really helped. And life is all temporary, right? We all come here for lifespan is different, right? But at least you sent her with respect,
right?
With love, respect, all that. I think that's.
And thankfully, with her heart condition, we could do whatever we could.
Yes,
that helped.
She lived in. If you think about another bonus 2 years,
yes,
with you, and then, and I think that also probably gave you some
solace,
preparation, time, a little bit. That like it didn't happen suddenly. So, she's. I know it's easier said than done, but she is in no pain. So always remember her. I know it's going to be very hard, but it's going to take time.
Yes, And just don't shy away from grief. I would say that to people who will eventually experience, because we all are going to.
Yes,
किसी ना किसी तरीके से we experience loss,
Yes.
whatever kind of loss it is.
Mm.
It really helps to not stuff it away, to not hide it away. Cope with it, deal with it, share, talk. And if people are, ready to talk about their experiences, listen. That really helps. It's a universal experience.
Yeah.
So it's easy to say, but you still have to
You have to. It's
deal with it.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I think you're the only one. Your immediate family is the only one who has to deal with it.
Right,
The loss.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you, Dolly, for
Thank you,
coming
Sunshine.
over and sharing. I know it's not easy. Not easy. It's just,
But it helps to talk.
It just
Yeah.
And it just helps.
Right.
And I know, as I said, it's going to be to give it time.
Yeah.
And slowly.
If you wanna talk about anything at all, then you know who to call. Just tell Sanjana. Tell Sanjana. Tell Sanjana. Tell Sanjana. Just tell Sanjana.